Hi, welcome back. So, we have just covered the topics related to the fifth week, that was the third phase of the management thought evolution, wherein we learned the modern theory of management, and we have gone through different kind of contributions in the history of management. So far we could say that we had an idea of the classical era contributions, the neoclassical thought, and of course the modern school of thought also in the history of evolution. Now at this moment we are going to go for a re-evaluation of the contributions that were being made in this era, so that we could have a broader perspective to look at these contributions and enhance our learning and understanding of the history and the present, that will lead us towards the future discussion of the topic. So as we could see that the classical school was more concerned about the organizations without people, because the focus was too much on the mechanistic structure, the focus was more on rationality, the focus was more on the logics, that how no a standard way to perform a task and how the whole organization system of authority and responsibility can be designed. So the classical contributions were more focused on organizations, wherein the concern was less on the people. And if we look at the second era of contribution, wherein the human relations schools that were more focusing on the people side of organizations, and the concern was shifted from organizations. So we could say that the classical era was concerned with organizations without people, while the neoclassical and the human relation approach focused more on the people without organizations. And that is why the third phase of the modern school of management thought emerged. The main contribution that we have reflected in this era was the system approach, the quantitative approach, the quality approach to management, and the contingency approach. Now, in the system approach, we have gone through the system perspective of the organization, that how the subsystems in an organization are interrelated and interdependent to each other. So, we have seen the positive side of the system approach, that how important it is to look at an organization in totality. The system perspective of an organization have really broadened the understanding of not um, underestimating any part of an organization or any bit in an organization, and every resource along with the human resource and the other tangible and intangible resources are very important. So a system perspective is actually a perspective to look at an organization in its totality, and how they work together and they synthesis together for the purpose of attainment of the goal in an organization. Quantitative approaches at the same time focuses more on the decision making, that how the predictive models, the mathematical and the statistical tools can be used and utilized for the purpose of sound decision making. Now there are certain techniques which are being adopted for the purpose of making decisions. For example, the probability theory or other mathematical concepts, the statistical tools like regression or correlation. These kind of principles and concepts were quantitative in nature and helped management to take some their decisions which are more impactful, because they are backed by certain facts, because they were backed by more logic, and they were backed by more of the rationality of the situation. So we could say that quantitative approaches to management is a different side of perspective, and is very important to look at and to understand that how the field of management discipline is expanding. At the same time, the third contribution that was notable in this era was the quality approach of management. Of course, when we are focusing too much on the decision making, the logic and rationality of the decision making and the soundness of the decision, it's also very important for organizations to look at a 360-degree perspective and improve their products and services. So quality approach more focused on that, how the philosophy of an organization can be improved, how different contributions in the quality approach, for example the Kaizen approach, the re-engineering approach, these kind of these kind of philosophies have really helped management to think beyond the logic and facts that they, we can also improve our services and product from different perspectives. So the quality approach have really helped management to expand its understanding. Moreover, the contingency approach have really contributed to the lacuna of the situation. That means the situation is very, very important, and this philosophy was missing in all of the other notable contributions that were happened in the past. Different contributions that were made in different contributions that were made in the past. So we could say that these are some notable contributions of the modern school of thought, which was obviously the need of the hour, and that is why these contributions were coming in because of the emerging problems to solve these problems. But what about the lacuna that was also existing in these contributions? So let us reflect to the modern school of management thought from the other perspective, that is a critical side of looking at these contributions. So as we could say that different contributions like quantitative quality school of approach, or the system approach or the contingency approach, these approaches generally primarily focusing on the higher level management. The theory actually promotes the top level managers philosophy, or we could say the administrative philosophy, because it is more about that how sound you can make decisions, how better you can utilize resource, how better you can improve the whole process of designing product and servicing the product. So it is all about that how better you can utilize the human resource and how you can achieve the goal in an organization in a more optimized manner or in a more rational manner. So in other words, we could say that the focus was more on the higher level management rather than the concerns of the middle level or a lower level management, which we could say with the time is increasing, because there were many grievances, many issues, many factors that were playing a major role behind the curtains. So higher level management perspective is of course goal fulfillment, and how better they can utilize the resources in an organization have really been the focus of the different schools that we have learned so far. So in this school also we could see that the focus was more on the higher level management requirements, and this is what we have learned in the different contributions of the modern school of thought, in the modern school of management thought. Another perspective is that it defines management in isolation. Now, the modern theory of management is actually defining management in isolation from the employees, because the focus is on that how better decision you are making, what sound strategies you can design, how better you can plan, how better this kind of decision implement, how better is the impact of this decision, and how the policies can be implemented in an organization. So we could see that the management is understood differently from its people, and the focus was more on the soundness of the decision making and improving the top level decisions. So herein again we could see a replication of the division of management from its employees, and we have seen more of the focus of the management. So that is why we could see that even in the modern school of thought, the management was seen in isolation. However, if we see the contemporary needs and with the passage of time, there is more need of the joint and consultative participation. There is more understanding of the dyadic relationship. There is more synergy which is required in organizations, but that was somewhere missing in the contributions of the modern school of thought. Another thing again that we could see that the less focus was on the human aspect. There was heavy reliance on the statistical tools, the mathematical theories, a system perspective, how the technological changes are affecting the business, which completely neglects the qualities of the human beings and also their limitations, that while performing a particular job, what are the limitations and what are the challenges of human resources, so how to overcome, or whether they are important, how they can affect the employee well-being, how it can affect the relationship within an organization. The social capital of an organization is very important. So these factors were missing again when we look back to the modern school of thought in a retrospect. So we could say at the end of this three phases of the history of management thought, that even the classical contribution didn't focus much on the human and psychological factors. The second phase of the neoclassical thought, which paid important attention towards the people in an organization, but at the same time they lack vision of factualness into the decision making, and the contributions were more inclined towards the human factors, and they ignored the fact and the certainty of the decision. While the modern school of thought again focus more on the decision making and the strategic implementation, strategy design, rather than paying attention to the human factors. So at the end of the modern school of thought discussion, we have to understand that the demands are changing, the organizational needs are changing, and when the needs are changing, they demand new solution. So whatever we have learned in the previous three phases of the history has to be extended and understood in the contemporary perspective. And for that we could say that we have to identify that what are the things which are changing in the organizations, or we could say what are the different types of requirements of the new age organizations. As we could see that in the current scenario, there is too much of uncertainty, the environmental conditions are changing, the political factors are changing, they are affecting the dynamics of employer employee relationship, because of which the regulatory environment is changing. So we could say that there is huge uncertainty in the external environment, which obviously is going to implicate on the decision making within an organization. Turbulences are there, so there could be natural turbulences, there could be emotional turbulences, which are very phenomenal in the current scenario. So the managers, the management perspectives, the policy makers, the administrators, they really have to pay attention towards these new emerging needs in an organization, because it demands new solution. Depleting and scarcity of resources is another challenge which is actually increasing day by day. So we cannot say that this was not the challenge in the early 19th century or other phases of the time, but of course with the passage of time this kind of problem is actually increasing manyfold, and day by day this issue is becoming more grave. So the scarcity of resources is a very important concern of organizations, and this is what also have to be paid attention to, and some solutions have to be thought in this direction as well. Moreover, we could see the global market hustles. So of course we could say that after globalization the organizations really have to think from a new market perspective. The structures of the markets have really changed, the choices of the people have changed, and this is becoming better and better with time. So global market hustles is obviously a kind of a need of an organization, that they really have to think out of the box solution and be more creative, and at the same time they have to serve the needs of innovation. So with the limited resources they have to become innovative, and at the same time something which can address the hustles of the global market, because it's not just only the choices which are changing, but also the regulatory requirements which are becoming challenging. Moreover, of course people psychology is changing. The demographic factors were obviously critical, but at the same time with the passage of time and with the advent of technology and with new AI solutions, we could see that the psychography is also changing, and these machines are reading psychographic factors so fast, they are able to gauge what the person is thinking. So it's like it's very very demanding. The time is becoming very very critical in the time of variation. The people's choices, the people's likes are changing frequently, and this frequency really have to match with the goods and services which are going to be delivered. So organizations really have to think about the solutions, that how they can make a better use of the available resources and technology, and to fulfill the demand of the market in this kind of scenario. Moreover, the people choices have also increased twofold. So it's not just only the variation in their psychology and the likes and choices, but also their choice making alternatives have increased, because of course the markets have expanded, because of globalization, because of technological revolution, a lot of options and varieties are available. So it's like, since because many alternatives are available, and moreover because of technology, collaborations are becoming easier. It's like the international and national markets are merging like nothing. So it's like the choice making is increasing not just only fast, but also it's like the frequency of the choices is also increasing. So organizations really have to master these kind of dimensions. Moreover, the employees, earlier, whatever contributions we have learned, they just have a vision of the people working within an organization and continuing their careers within the organizations, like for long. The job security was the main concern of the earlier era of people. But if we could see the, the new age times, we could see that the career paths are non-linear. It is not just that you started a job and then you ended your career, 30-40 years in a job, and then you're going to, just build whatever resources you will have out of that job. Today people, because of, the opportunities which are available, they're trying to avail the opportunities, they're trying to go for more creative solutions, they're going to be more innovative in their approach. So the career paths are also non-linear. So amid all of this uncertainty, this turbulences, these kind of, scarcity of resources, we could say that the needs of the organizations are changing. And since we have gone through the contributions of the classical era, the neoclassical era, and the modern era, all these contributions are very important for us to understand the premise of the organizational thought, that how the management philosophy has been laid and how it is progressing. But with the passage of time, and to understand the future contributions, it is very important to reflect upon that what are the lacunas of these existing contributions and how we can fill these lacunas in sync with the demand of the time. The things are changing, and how these demands can be met by the contributors. So whatever new contributions we are going to learn, it is going to be revolving around these kind of issues, these kinds of challenges, that how the new contributions which are coming into the learning patterns are going to serve the purpose of these kinds of emerging needs. So this is what we could say is very important, and that is why we paid a lot of attention towards the history of management thought in this course. That when we are learning the basic concepts of management thought, and we are trying to understand the different principles, the different concepts of management, the history cannot be ignored. And that is why history is very, very important, because it tells us about the future, the pattern of contributions, the relationship of each contribution with the previous contribution. That sync is very important, and that sync can only come when we understand what had been contributed, why it has been contributed, and what was missing in these contributions. Thus, we come to the end of this video as well. And in this video, we have gone through the critical perspective and evaluation of the modern era contributions, and also reflected upon the classical era and the neoclassical era lacunas as well, in synthesis with the current discussion that we did in this video. So in the previous videos we have learned about the history. In the current video we have done a critical evaluation, and we look forward to discuss more of the topics related to the contemporary times in the coming week of this course. Thank you.